Good, happy Tuesday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Tuesday evening, so let's begin. But first, we begin with COVID-19 updates. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that information for all of you right now. There are 10,531 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 8,755,581 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 475 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 771 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 383 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Nashua, 81. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Nashua, 1180. And now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization and red deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total cases in the purple. Total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalization, red death, and blue recovered. Now let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder, your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Popular Raymond restaurant closed for the next 10 days due to employee COVID-19 cases. 7 Tuckaway Tavern employees test positive for COVID-19, restaurant officials say. The popular Tuckaway Tavern and Butchery restaurant is shutting down all operations for the next 10 days because multiple employees have been diagnosed with COVID-19. 7 of the restaurant's 120 plus employees have tested positive for COVID-19, according to a Facebook post by the restaurant. Infected staff members include a server, a chef, 2 prep cooks, and 2 members of management. Restaurant officials said all affected employees were wearing masks while working. The affected employees are feeling okay, restaurant officials said. The restaurant will sanitize the entire building and will move to have all employees tested before reopening the restaurant. Restaurant officials said there was a potential for exposure to coronavirus between Monday and Saturday of last week, October 19th to the 24th. Anyone in the building during that time, especially if they have symptoms, is encouraged to seek testing. Health officials generally say that anyone who develops symptoms of COVID-19 should stay home and contact a health provider to get tested. Anyone without health insurance or primary care provider can get tested by calling 603-271-5980 or by completing an online form. 1 week to go. Trump-Biden circuits flow into swing state New Hampshire. Cullenbulcher, Nomi, Trump Jr. among those to campaign for Biden and the president. Take a look visiting this week in New Hampshire. These people are visiting the state this week in New Hampshire. Amy Cullenbulcher is campaigning for Joe Biden. Kristi Noemi is campaigning for Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. is campaigning for Trump. With no public polls of New Hampshire voters released in the past 2 weeks, the campaigns of Donald Trump and Joe Biden apparently aren't buying that the race is over in the Granite State. Shaheen Hassan vote against confirming Amy Coney Barrett to Supreme Court. Barrett confirmed on 52 to 48 vote. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Now is the time to add another Chevy to your driveway at Bentley Chevrolet. When you move 2020 Chevy Silverado 4x4. Nicely equipped, just $38,492.
Senators Jeanne Shaheen and Maggie Hassan voted no last night, opposing Barrett's confirmation. In speeches on the Senate floor before the confirmation vote, the two senators from New Hampshire said Barrett's presence on the Supreme Court could put at risk LGBTQ rights, women's reproductive freedom, and the Affordable Care Act.
My Senate Republican colleagues' priorities are clear, and they are an outrage.
Leader McConnell's only priority has been to push through a nominee who will fundamentally alter the balance of the court and affect the lives of generations of Americans.
The chair of the New Hampshire Democratic Party saying last night in part, while today's Republican vote brings Donald Trump one day closer to making his ACA repeal agenda a reality, Granite Staters have the power to make their voices heard and to stop Trump and Republicans by voting now for Democrats up and down the ballot.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. No midnight voting for one New Hampshire community. Hart's location officially say they can't hold midnight vote safely this year. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Ray Brewer.
Chapel Tractor has been in our family since 1955, when great-grandfather Pearlie and our grandfather George decided.
The most famous of the midnight voting traditions is Dixville Notch, but it's actually only one of 3 locations in New Hampshire where it takes place.
We have the room to do it here. We can do it safely, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
In Millsfield, the 22 registered voters will gather at midnight at the Log Haven restaurant to cast their ballots. Although, because of the pandemic, they will find some changes.
This year we have far fewer voting booths. We want to make sure that the booths are the right distance from each other.
Everyone will also be required to wear a mask and maintain social distancing. At Hart's location, many of the same precautions will be in place. However, this election, unlike those in the past, the voters will not cast their ballots at midnight.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to let go of.
The 48 voters from Hart's location will instead vote from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the town hall.
Really, during a pandemic, we didn't see that there was any way to conduct it safely, with the health and safety of our poll workers and our voters in mind.
And unlike Millsfield, space was definitely a factor, as the polling room is small. But Hart's location officials insist this is just temporary.
We're not giving it up. We're just going to not do it this election.
Normally, Millsfield says they have the results 5 or 6 minutes after midnight. This year, it might take a little longer, and those results could prove interesting, as there are 16 registered Republicans, 3 registered Democrats, and 3 unaffiliated voters. Reporting live, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this evening edition. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.